in mind for somewhere, that he's got somewhere in mind that he wants to be a head coach, or if it's just making himself available, or it's perhaps to go and have a stint in somewhere like rugby union or something, somewhere different. Who knows?
Yeah, it sort of came out of the blue a bit, didn't it? It felt like.
Yeah.
But clearly he's wanting to get a different coaching gig somewhere else. I think at this stage he's been on the first team coaching staff at CAS for 7-8 seasons. He maybe needs a bit of a change for himself. Otherwise, opportunities for head coaching jobs might slip by if he's only been in one sort of coaching bubble. Yeah,
and I think, realistically, the Powell era is coming towards an end. It's in its last third at the best.
Yeah,
so
I kind of
chance
think
to
right
get out
this
before
season
he goes
in
with
terms
it.
of the Powell coaching legacy situation at CAS, personally. But everyone else seems to think how you're thinking, so...
realistically, he's way above tenure in terms of a head coach. His number is not going to be that long, realistically. He's not someone who's... I'll put it this way, I'll be surprised if he makes it to 10 years.
We'll see on that, but certainly Danny Orr, there's going to be some vacancies and opportunities. Maybe it's an assistant elsewhere, like you suggest, different sports, different competitions maybe, or even just maybe you could look at the Championship as well for a head coaching job potentially. There's going to be options for Danny Orr because he's well thought of. Okay. Someone else who's well thought of is Hull KR fullback Adam Quinlan, who's extended his deal with the club until the end of next season. The 27-year-old joined from NRL side St George Illawarra Dragons in December 2016. God, he's been there that long. And helped Rovers win promotion to Super League in his first season. Injuries have restricted him to just 5 appearances this season. And Tom Andrews got in touch to say, the best fullback in Yorkshire sticking around for another year. Hopefully the gingerbread man can string together more than a few games together because he's absolute quality when he's on the field and 100% our best player. Do you agree?
So in terms of Quinlan, I think he's good. He's a solid player. Whether he's the best fullback in Yorkshire, I think Richie Myler will probably have something to say about that after last weekend. But again, steady business. I think it's kind of a case of if he can be fit is probably the question. And as Tom says, when he is out on the field, he is 100% the best player for KR, so I agree with that. But it's just trying to keep him fit, so I think that's probably why it's a 1-year deal more than anything. It's just his injuries permitting, but he's definitely worth trying to do anything we can to keep hold of. So good bit of business, another year for him.
Yeah, another player with another year over at CAS is Grant Millington, who signed a 1-year contract extension with the Tigers, taking him to 10 Super League seasons with the club, so he's going to get a testimonial, I guess. The 33-year-old former Cronulla forward joined the Tigers from Australian side Canterbury Bulldogs in 2012 during Ian Millwood's spell in charge. Millington has played over 200 games for Castleford and passed 250 total career appearances in last season's April 29 win against Wigan.
Leeds Rhinos winger Tom Briscoe has extended his contract until the end of the 2022 season. The 30-year-old joined the Rhinos from Hull FC in 2014 and has scored 81 tries and 161 appearances.
I meant to update that today to 82 tries and 162 appearances.
Yes.
The boy liked Wembley.
And, he certainly liked his evening stroll. He looked fairly happy.
Toulouse Olympique-bound prop Mitch Garber has played his last game for Hull KR, sadly, after an elbow injury has ended his Super League season. The 31-year-old arrived from Leeds in 2019. He's made 27 appearances, scoring 5 tries for the Robins, but game time has been limited by a knee injury. He's now also signed a contract to move to French club Toulouse next year in the Championship. So that looks like it's his time in Super League done for Mitch Garber, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. Barring Toulouse coming up the following year, but even then, it's getting towards the end of his career. But it's a solid servant who's done well wherever he's been so far. So sad to see him drop out.
He is a big biscuit, though, isn't he?
Yep.
Oldham have confirmed the signing of forward Sean. I don't know why I'm doing that one. It should be you, but I'm finished now. Sean Pick, the former Featherstone, Toronto, Sheffield, and Batley forward, joins the club from the Bulldogs and becomes the Ruffians' sixth signing for 2021.
Yeah, a good pickup for Oldham. Halifax have extended the contract of Ed Barber for the 2021 season. The forward will enter his seventh season with his hometown club. The 30-year-old has made 140 appearances for the Blue Sox so far.
Sheffield have signed Batley prop Tyler Dickinson on a one-year deal. The Eagles have also announced the signing of England students international Jordan Bull. You know how like people in the olden days got the names from like their occupations or something notable about them?
Yeah.
I
wonder what Bull's ancestors were doing. Connor Holliday signed a new 2-year deal with Whitehaven. The 25-year-old first joined the club back in 2015.
Cameron Berry, who's 19, will make the step up from reserve to first team for Bradford in 2021. The young hooker made his debut in the 1895 Cup in 2019 against Barrow and featured in January's pre-season friendlies against Hunslet and York.
Yep, Harry Tyson Wilson returns to the professional game after a short break to sign with Sheffield on a one-year deal. He came through the ranks at Hull FC and also enjoyed spells at Doncaster and York.
Now, is that big Tyson Wilson or little Tyson Wilson?
I think that's little Tyson Wilson. Bob, it's Big Bobby, I think.
Yeah, I think that rings a bell too. Oldham have signed young winger Ben Holcroft on a one-year deal from Wigan. The 19-year-old is a product of Wigan's academy and scored in last season's academy grand final win over St Helens. And Sheffield have signed former Hull FC centre Ryan Johnson on a one-year deal. He came through at the City of Hull academy, but now goes into the Championship.
Barrow have announced the re-signings of Jake Carter, Tom Hopkins, Carl McBain and Brad Crellin. Carter, McBain and Crellin have committed to the Raiders for 2021, while Hopkins has signed a witness and done a 2-year deal. I was quite impressed that Barrow got the money for that, given that they've had to pay all those fines as well.
Nice throwback to the old witness reference too. Doncaster forward Geordie Hedges has signed a new 3-year deal with the club, while winger Tom Halliday is committed to the club for 2021.
Keighley forward Josh Lynham has signed a new 1-year contract. He is currently Keighley's longest serving player. He's been there as long as his uncle Des was on grandstand.
North Wales Crusaders have re-signed Alex Eckley for 2021, while Warren Thompson has signed a new deal with the club as well for next year.
West Wales Raiders have confirmed the signing of England students international Michael Holden for the 2021 campaign, and they've also signed Wales students international Charlie Bodman for the 2021 season.
If it's not a squaddy, it's a student. Doncaster have re-signed hooker Harry Carter for the 2021 season. The 26-year-old joined the club ahead of 2020 and made 4 appearances before the season got cut short. Doncaster have also completed the signing of forward Liam Johnson on a 1-year deal. The 23-year-old has played previously in the Championship and League One for Bradford. Keighley forward Aaron Levy has signed a contract extension that will see him stay at the club until at least the end of 2021. He's a product of the club's academy, scholarship and reserve programme. North Wales have signed hooker Callum Wood from Widnes for 2021. The 21-year-old made 2 appearances for the Vikings this year before the season ended. And West Wales.
What is it with the Wood family in general, the clan Wood being hookers? What is it that? Why do people whose surname is Wood automatically seem to become hookers? That's at least 3 of them.
I don't know if Tyler's dad has any insight on that one. But we're coming full circle there, maybe. Well, there's Kyle and Josh at Wakefield, but yeah. I'm not really thinking of that many more.
Sure, there's another one somewhere. There's another one that's ringing a bell, but I can't think of it right now.
There used to be one at Warrington, but I think it was also a half-back. Nathan Wood, was it? He played a bit of hooker. I don't think you're onto something there, Tim. Wales Raiders have signed Sam Heron for the 2021 season, and they've also confirmed that
not a squaddy or a student.
No, but Archie Snook has also committed to the Raiders for next year, so expect some lightsaber battles there.
Yeah, they'll be going snooker loopy.
Yeah, that's it for the ones that I put on the rundown today that you don't
have. French side Palau have announced the signing of Toronto Wolfpack fullback Hakim Maloudi for the 2020-21 Elite One Championship season. The 27-year-old played 7 games for the Wolfpack earlier in the year before the Canadian club withdrew from the Super League season. Maloudi played for Saint Estève, Palau and Carcassonne in Elite One Championship before moving to England to play for Hull in 2017.
I didn't even know he properly moved to Toronto. I thought he was on loan from Hull, so he learned things.
There we go. Well, they wouldn't have paid in any regard, so there we are.
And finally, the RFL has begun modelling fixture options for 2021. Who'd have thought we'd be having to do that when everyone thought the Championship couldn't get played this year? For the return of the Betfred Championship, League One competitions, and the AB Sundex 1895 Cup.
That's the one the fans want. It's the AB Sundex Cup.
Well, you never know. He might threaten to buy a new trophy, but only if they sort out the fixtures 2 days after they've said they're doing something to try and sort out the fixtures. A recent meeting of clubs confirmed that although government advice is currently that crowds will not be permitted until April, is it? Fucking hell. There is shared desire to return well before that, and that all options should be kept open for the resumption of the competitions as soon as possible. The first week of March, or possibly earlier, has been identified as a possible target date following an informal survey of clubs, and there will be further discussion at Championship and League One Forum next month. The RFL is working closely with the clubs to ensure that they can return initially to train and in due course to play matches. I think Sheffield have started training again, haven't they? In accordance with government guidance and RFL protocols. This means running webinars for key individuals, including COVID officers and coaches. The RFL is also liaising with DCMS and other sports regarding the road map for an earlier return to first socially distanced and limited crowds, safely building to increase crowds, and has forwarded a proposal for this to the DCMS. The individual clubs are also having similar dialogue with their local MPs and local authorities.
Now it's interesting on this one because non-league football below a certain level is still ploughing ahead with crowds of up to 500, possibly even 1,000, I think. Now, that would at least give some sort of income to clubs having that level of crowd. So certainly at a League One level and possibly even into the Championship, that does cover a fair number of sides. Just would be able to have their whole attendance, and to be honest, in most cases, fairly socially distanced anyway. If I think of your average League One ground, you tend to have a fair amount of space. You tend to have a 4,000 capacity ground with no more than 1,000 people ever in it.
And if you make it home fans only, as a potential way of restricting unexpected crowd sizes and things like that.
It's a good job the All Golds aren't in League One anymore because they'd only have 4 people.
Al Witts was definitely watching the Challenge Cup final. He liked to tweet on Saturday, so shout out to Al, one of the All Gold gang.
Yeah, he was one of them. He was one of the 4.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. We don't know. It just seems to me ridiculous that we're still talking about no crowds until at least April in this country when other places are making it work. It just suggests we've ran this shambolically here. And I would love to understand the rationale behind some things being allowed to open and other things not, other than purely an economic one. And if it's purely an economic one, then surely there's some rich fucking people that the government we have at the moment know, who maybe want to empty their fucking pockets a little bit and help the country through this fucking crisis. Because otherwise, I don't see an end right now.
I know I've been shockingly positive about the RFL on a number of occasions lately, but again, I'm gonna go to bat for them because I don't normally we'd say the RFL were behind the times or lagging behind things. I don't think they have been at all. I think they've been really positive, They've engaged with government really well in terms of DCMS and securing the loan. And I think that they're doing everything they can. I don't think we're behind other sports necessarily. I think with anything we're ahead. So I don't think it's coming from the sport end that the problems are.